Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. How the fuck are you, gentlemen?
Very fucking good, man. Very good.
Good.
Enjoying life. Tired, but I'm enjoying life. I'm always fucking tired.
We're old, man. That's what we do.
Fuck yeah.
You love there, man. Oh, it sucks.
I'm already tired tomorrow.
Man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. How you doing, Nicky? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing better, man. Doing better.
Sweet.
Yo, I had the Odyssey this week that only my weak ass mind would have. It bothers. So, you guys know I'm a huge Fantastic Four mark.
Sure.
So, I ordered on Friday the Mezco Fantastic Four set.
Very cool.
Nice.
Said set was supposed to be here Thursday.
Uh-huh.
I was taking a nap, woke up, it was 2 o'clock. It said your package was delivered at 1:37.
Mm-hmm.
I jump up gleefully and skip to the door and open it. No fucking package.
Oh, fucking A, man.
Yep.
I fucking start flipping. I look, because my truck is just fucking parked. So there's, it's not anything there. And so I look to try, that's cool. Fucking see if the package is around the truck, if she tried to jam it in the fucking mailbox. And if anybody has this set, if they're listening right now and listening to me say that somebody tried to jam that in a mailbox, they're laughing their ass off.
Your mailbox is going to be a doghouse on a spike.
Yeah.
So I filed for it as soon as I calmed down a little bit, to say that it wasn't here and everything. Filled out the online report, messaged the seller on eBay and it was like, hey, look, this is what's going on. Boom, boom, boom. I get a call 20 minutes later from the fucking post office and the lady's like, there's no mistake. She scanned the package. It says right here, she scanned the package in at the mailbox or at the door. So you need to find that package. I said, excuse me?
You need to find...
Where do you get your balls from, lady? Jesus.
So, I also don't want them to hang up the phone and not get my shit.
Right. Yes, you gotta be careful.
So I did say, excuse me.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, look.
Yeah.
This is a $450 package. I don't have that shit growing on trees.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to make an insurance claim, it wouldn't be for this. Yeah,
seriously, this is kind of a low bar for insurance kind of shit.
Yeah. So she says, okay, she takes my information and she's like, okay, we'll look into this and we'll see what's going on. And when she comes in tomorrow, I'm going to talk to her because we need to find this package. And I'm like, yes, you do. Well, it ends up that there was some fucking mistake where it ended up on the wrong mail truck for the wrong neighborhood and sent back to fucking Tampa.
Are you fucking kidding?
Oh, really?
And they marked it as delivered to my place because she hit the wrong button on the little fucking scanner thing.
Son of a
smart
bitch.
ass lady at the post office, did she apologize?
Oh no, because she didn't call me.
Really?
I had to call her back the next day.
Of course.
And then that's when she tells me where everything was wrong and on their fucking part. And I am sorry if we intimated that there was an issue on your end. It's completely our mistake.
At least she ate some crow. I mean,
yeah.
I talked to Nick before that. I got to him before he talked to the post office. He jumped in our Discord. He was distraught. He's like, this motherfucker, it's not here. It's insured for this, and I don't want the insurance. I don't want the refund. I want the fucking thing. And he was not happy at all.
You're like, I want my shit, dude.
Up like that since ever.
Yeah.
I've actually started working on the thing already.
Oh, good.
So let's see. I might be able
Look at that. It's almost clobbering time.
Ooh.
So like you can tell the difference in the chest
Yeah.
and the legs. So yeah, Gundam marker on the thing cracks,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
and it makes a
On the thing
huge
cracks and
difference.
things crack.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be. I see what you did. You're black lining the all the
Yep.
All
in
the
between all the
cracks.
okay, all right.
I
That's pretty cool,
practiced-
actually.
Yeah, I practiced on a Marvel Legend, because as soon
Yeah.
as I got the Marvel like retro set from Legends,
Right.
with that cool thing, and that is
Yeah.
a good thing. And so I practiced on that, so I knew what to do with this one, and it's turning out perfect.
Looks
I'm just
fantastic.
so
It looks
happy.
great. Of the four, Thing is my guy that I grabbed. I like bruisers. I like Hulk and Thing and Juggernaut. I like big, just bruisers. And that Thing looks. I mean, the job they did with that looks awesome.
Oh yeah, I'll send you pics when the fucking head is on there and shit too.
Nice.
'Cause,
That's pretty cool, dude. So okay, so what's the deal? Are they gonna reroute your package back to you?
I just showed you the thing, bro.
Oh,
I got it today.
that was the thing. I thought that was
Yeah.
the one you were. I thought that was when you were practicing.
No,
on.
no.
I'm
This
sorry.
is-
Okay.
This is the Mezco body.
We
Sorry.
got
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
I
My
thought
bad.
yeah. Here's the soft goods and shit.
Okay. I couldn't tell it was
Oh,
soft
and-
goods. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's-
and they feel so silky smooth.
Oh, look at that. Okay, all
My
right.
baby
So
boy
good. You
Benjamin's
did get
got
your
some
shit. All
good-
right.
Yeah,
I'm glad,
I did
man.
get the shit.
I'm glad you got your stuff. There's nothing more frustrating than that.
No.
It's irritating as shit.
Oh
Like,
my
come
god,
on.
I was on anti-anxiety meds.
Yeah.
And I was in my office and just I told Cal because Cal's been like getting crazy on his fucking video games lately.
Yeah.
Like he's been, fuck you, I fucking hate you. You should go kill yourself.
Damn.
Wow.
On the voice chat, screaming it. So like he got home that day and I looked him in the eye and I said, Calvin, today is not the day for you to have an issue at all playing video games. He said, okay, Dad, no problem.
We good?
That's it. Today, then
What's
please.
for dinner?
Yeah. Don't make me come in and have to slaughter you. Yeah. Today would be a bad day for that.
I'm the right
Oh,
one on the wrong day, son.
Yeah, man.
This ain't it.
Oh man, that's fucking
I'm about
great,
to get
dude.
FAFO on my knuckles.
So
But
that set must be nice.
it really
That's not
is.
bad. The day. How many? Like, what about accessories? Because they usually do pretty.
So
Yeah.
the fucking Mezco tins are usually probably about, I'd say about that thick.
Yeah.
This one is about that thick.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, and it is also twice as long as a regular Mezco fucking tin because there's 4 figures.
There's 4
in
of
it.
them. Right.
Hey, shit. Yeah.
There's 3 levels of accessories with that thing. There's an alternate. There's an alternate light up Johnny head.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
For the torch.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like there is not a full flame effect for the body.
Okay.
But like a lot of times, like when Kirby was drawing it, he liked to have Johnny in his suit. You know.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
And so, so yeah, there's like so many effects. They got a invisible force field shit for her, and yeah, the thing's got a trench coat and sunglasses.
That's what I was about to ask. Just about to ask you to give him the trench coat and sunglasses,
Yeah.
or you were. Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
There is a Yancey Street sign.
That's fucking awesome. No shit.
Because that's where the thing's from is Yancey
Yeah.
Street, and there was
Yeah,
a
that's
there's
like,
a whole thing with like the
yeah, but-
Yancey Street gang that terrorized him.
Yeah,
for
but remember
years.
that's only something you would know, dude. If you know,
Right.
know,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
in like
There's
one
not
of the
been movies really about that. Fantastic Four have had movies, and a lot of people today, the popularity of comic book movies are not comic book readers. They're the people that see these cool characters and just go watch the movie. So if it wasn't in a movie, majority aren't going to know anything
right?
about it.
Yeah.
They know.
Ooh, they're hitting you early. Russ, did you know Hurts is the lowest rated QB in the NFC East so far this season?
And well, Hurt, he deserves to be. He's played like garbage. Fucking, he's played like shit. But I don't even blame it all on him necessarily. I mean,
this is also coming from a man whose team is 0-2. So
well, their defense. Look,
Not to be 0-3, goddammit.
Their defense. I'm gonna put it this way: their defense is atrocious right now. They can't stop a fucking cold. They're terrible. It was bad. They had all they had to do was make that slow them down. Slow them down, make them work a little bit to get down the field, run that clock down. They were playing prevent defense. Give this motherfucker over a minute left. Play prevent defense. They're going right down the field. Bam, score. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
And didn't Saquon drop something?
Are you the Cleveland fan, Russ? Are you the Cleveland?
No, that's me.
No, that's him. I'm the Eagles fan.
Yeah,
who was not happy.
Lowest
do you and E
quarterback.
have a bet on the game tomorrow?
Nah. No, I'm not the betting type.
No. You don't bet on the Browns. And just like I tell you now, you don't bet on the Eagles either because they'll fucking break your heart.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, okay, obviously, I'd be cool betting 50, no problem.
Right.
But I'm not betting like anything like, oh, you got to do something embarrassing or some shit like that on the board.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Especially with fucking Deshaun Watson, a fucking quarterback.
Yeah, well, I feel you, man. I feel you, and we gotta, we got a kid after he got paid. He's like, fuck it, I don't gotta work no more.
Do you know what his QB? Do you know the last time I looked at his QBR? Do you know what it is, Russ?
For Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is it?
His QBR this season is 24.
What?
Wow.
How? I didn't even get.
That doesn't even count as a QBR?
How can it be 24?
Dude, it's insane. And they're, 1-1 because they.
What's his regular rating? Not QBR, but the old school QB rating. What's his old school? You got that?
That's all it is QBR.
Oh, that's 3. That's 24?
Yeah.
The fuck out of here. I didn't even think it was possible to get that low. That's impossible.
Let me just make sure I'm not being up at home. Shit.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
For the one game it was 24.
Okay.
His career is 99.4 from all those games in
right.
Houston because he hasn't played any fucking games for the Browns.
Yeah, he's been very
So his fucking rating right now is 63.
Still.
That's not yeah,
his
not
QBR.
great.
We lost to Dallas. That's what it was. It wasn't It wasn't Detroit. It was Dallas. His QBR in that game is 11.1.
Yeah, he was that's trash, dude. He's
the win against Jacksonville, 42.8. Now the rating number that you're asking about, the RTG, the passer rating,
right? The passer rating. That's what I'm wondering.
51.1 in the loss and 78.8 in the win.
Those are both trash. They're not good.
In the win, he had no touchdowns, except I think he ran for one.
Yep.
And was sacked twice.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, he's. I feel bad. I think they're they might be in the same boat as the Eagles. They might be stuck with a fucking overpaid guy who apparently is either A, don't want to put into work to get better, or B, can't get better. I don't know, one of the two. So
I'm not sure, but I think Tampa Bay is 2-0, aren't they?
They are. Yep, and your boy is having the time of his life down there. He's enjoying himself. He really is. You could see the glee on his face. His teammates love him. They're dapping him up and shit. They're hugging. I mean, all of his teammates had nothing but good shit to say about him. About how good he is in the locker room. How awesome how hard he worked in the offseason. I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, the Browns got rid of this dude. With the bum they got now? Are you kidding me? Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's bad, dude.
But we also can't forget on this panel right now we do have a Vikings fan too.
That's correct. We are
Well,
2-0, baby.
Hey, let me just say this. What the fuck is going on in Minnesota that they have a quarterback who I thought was a bum and a bust in the NFL playing lights fucking out. He looked good, dude. He's looking good.
Yep. I mean, he's in there as a substitute, right? Because their star is injured, and
but I don't.
Games.
I mean,
Darnold.
We can have another one against Houston tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm saying now, if they end up beating Houston, they go through. Are they expecting their starter to come back?
Oh, he's out the entire season.
Okay, Darnold might take that job and keep it, dude. I'm serious. Well, yeah, no, definitely this year he's going to have it. I'm talking about if they all it's going to take is him having a good year this year, and you got a quarterback controversy in
Look
Minnesota.
At where Sam Darnold has played before this.
That's a good point, man. But see, I said that before, and I got told, well, you can't just blame the Jets. He's playing terrible. Look at him. Separate him out. I'm wait a minute, man. It wasn't
just the Jets, though.
Well, no, it wasn't just the Jets. Didn't he play for the Panthers too?
The fucking worst franchise in the NFL,
which are trash. They're complete trash. That's why Baker wanted to get the fuck out of there.
Listen,
Baker was like, "Oh, I'm out of here."
Vikings screw the pooch every season. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so, I know, but
I mean, and they've had good. They've had like quarterbacks that you didn't expect to do
anything,
cool
right?
Do cool things. Like back in the day, Warren Moon. Everybody thought it was over. Suddenly, he has a couple of good seasons in Minnesota.
Randall Cunningham was the same way.
Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, listen, it is what it is. I'm going to enjoy being able to say, hey, I'm up 2-0, and Eric's team is 0-2.
But
I
understand what you're saying, but think about this though. Think about this. Darnold's still young though. All right. Yeah. If maybe is it possible that he ends up on the right team with talent on the team, by the way, with some talent and a coaching staff has figured out how that knows how to actually teach a quarterback how to play the pro game. I'm just saying. I'm not.
It won't be Minnesota because Minnesota spent too much in their draft cash to.
Who remembers the Herschel Walker trade?
I do.
I remember that. Dallas one?
I felt like that was, and I loved Herschel Walker. Don't get me wrong. When he played for the Eagles,
the worst trade I've ever seen.
But that was the worst trade ever.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Is that the worst sports trade or just the worst football trade?
Yes.
Is it still? I don't. I mean, it might be. I don't think the Cleveland trade might rank up there too, though. That's pretty bad for Deshaun Watson.
Worse, you mean say worse the team that traded him away?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Wait, for Herschel Walker?
For Herschel Walker, no, it was with the Vikings.
Dallas fleeced whoever the fuck.
Yeah, no, it was the Vikings.
Got Herschel. They got Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and fucking
they got
Emmitt
the Super Bowl
Smith.
dynasty.
Out of Herschel Walker. Yeah,
they did. Yep, they did. And like I said, I loved Herschel Walker. I was when he played for the Eagles, I was a big Walker fan, man.
I think one of those one of those guys was not from the Herschel trade, but I think Aikman definitely was.
No, I don't know, man. They had first round picks for a couple years, dude.
But I know one of them. I know one of them was Larry Allen.
It was pretty bad.
And they got that fucking O-line and
well, what Dallas got was 2 linebackers, a cornerback, and a defensive end just for players. And they got Minnesota's first, second, sixth in 90, first, second in 91, first, second in 92, and third in 92.
So look at that.
They got all of those Herschel Walker and a San Diego's 5th round pick that they got that they received from San Diego, as well as another 10th round and a 3rd round. They got all of that. So 1, 2, 3 first round, 1, 2, 3 second round, 1, 2, sixth round, and another third round, all for Herschel. Dude, they spent everything.
That's enough picks. That's enough picks. If
that's
you
a franchise.
If you know, and remember who their coach was when
Jimmy Johnson,
who had just come out of college.
Yep.
He scouted all these guys. He knew all their abilities, how good they all were. He probably had the best idea of what they were worth more than anybody else in the NFL. That motherfucker he must have had a field day. He must have been like, holy shit, I get all these picks. I don't know what to do myself.
Just imagine that though. 3 years straight, their first rounder, 3 years straight, their second rounder. And then in the next 2 years, a sixth and a third rounder.
So you imagine 3 years straight, they had 2 first round picks. 3 years straight. Because theirs and then Minnesota's. And then second round picks. Yeah.
First and second round for 3 straight fucking years. And that's 90, 91, 92.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That is just amazing. Yeah, I'm
trying to see who the ended up being.
It may be the worst. That may honestly be the worst. I thought. I mean, the Cleveland one that they just did is pretty fucking bad too. I won't lie, but I don't think it's as bad as the Herschel trade.
No.
The thing is, like with that, is one of those picks ended up being C.J. Stroud.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
Which I would say is an upgrade from Watson right now.
Yeah,
that was
an amazing derail, man.
In 1990, Dallas got Emmitt Smith in the first round. Okay. In 91, I'm just looking at their first rounders because I'm not looking at the whole draft, right? So in 1991, their first rounder for Dallas was
Maryland.
Alvin Harper, great wide receiver. He was fantastic. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic.
He was
playmaker.
So the thing that I'm looking at is the picks that they actually acquired, because their pick from Minnesota that year was Russell Maryland.
Right. Okay. I was saying, yeah. Another one of the great linemen ever. I mean,
yeah.
It was really good.
And again, like the Dallas dynasty of those 3 fucking Super Bowls shows exactly that the maxim that football is played on the line.
Oh yeah,
because nobody was fucking with Dallas's O line.
Could you imagine Barry Sanders ran behind Larry Allen?
That's what I said. That's why. I mean, I liked Emmitt Smith. I thought he was a great player. But Emmitt Smith is not the greatest running back in the history of running backs to me. I'm sorry. I don't care what record he has. I'll never say he's the best running back ever because he ran behind the most solid run. They weren't just the best line. They were probably the best offensive line for run blocking I've ever seen in my life.
Ever.
That dude was into the hill. Yeah, that guy was like at least 5 yards past the line of scrimmage a lot of times before he even got touched. By another and even further sometimes. It was phenomenal. And I would say that line made I think you could have plugged damn near any running back
for sure.
Back there with some vision. I'm not saying every running back because there's some running backs that are dumb.
No, but you could have put like a LaDainian Tomlinson, a Walter South runner like Brown or Earl Campbell.
If you plug
South runners, dude.
See, like, I don't know if it could have happened at the time because I don't know if he was already out of the league.
Yeah.
But you take Dallas, and the only thing that you switch out is Emmitt Smith for Christian Okoye.
Oh, please. Who's going to stop him? Is going to run?
Okoye was so fat.
Now, you got 2 tanks. He was Bettis another way. I mean, dude.
Yeah, he was pretty solid. I mean,
nobody would. It'd be a touchdown every fucking play.
You know, it's. I just like, and that's why I said if you put Barry Sanders, I had you with the flash behind that line. It'd be really good. If you put Barry Sanders back there, he would be insane too. It would have been crazy.
But like I said with like Okoye, like he's not obviously on the level of Emmett or fucking
No,
Barry.
But
that type of runner though.
He wasn't that type of runner either.
Yeah, but he would have done well.
But you look at other running backs who like aren't at that elite Hall of Fame, greatest of all time level.
Yeah.
That like possibly could have played at those lines and like switched out for Emmitt Smith, and a lot of them you see would have won the fucking Super Bowl.
Definitely.
I think
like a Corey Dillon, or I mean anyone that had any kind of north south to them, you put them behind that line, and they're gonna at minimum they're gonna average 5 yards a game, 5 yards a carry minimum.
I think he came a little too late. Oh fuck, I forget who I was gonna say, but another one that would have worked really well would have been Ricky Waters, but he was way after that.
Yeah, he was later. He was a bit later. But I think I don't know. I just and there's no way for us to ever find out. But you just can think about it and go, wow.
Yeah.
It would have been a fun fantasy thing to see, man. It would have been great because Barry Sanders is probably the one of the if not the best, he's obviously one of the best I've ever seen play the game. The guy is crazy running.
I got to watch him live probably a dozen times in Detroit, and I've never seen anything like it. It was like watching a play that should have been a loss of 4 yards, a gain of 60.
Yes. Now, so all right, when you say that, think about it, how many times because of the shitty O-line he played behind.
The worst.
Somebody was in the backfield always.
Everything
in his
right
face.
Away. And that's why he had to be a runner. He couldn't be in north-south. He couldn't be any kind of other runner but east-west because he had no choice.
Yeah.
What if they counted horizontal yardage?
Oh, please. He would have averaged
Barry Sanders would be the rushing champ with no
I've never seen anybody zigzag down a field the way he could. Jesus Christ. Running from one side of the field to the other. It's like, oh, God damn. Oh, God.
All right, Joe. It's enough of that.
Fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, it was funny. But I mean, anyone who could break someone's ankles, seriously, the dude's insane, man. I loved it. I would have loved to have seen that. No, I wouldn't have, because then Dallas would have been unstoppable, and they're already hard to beat.
They're
anyway.
already hard enough, right?
Yeah, fuck that.
I hope you rail anything here with that Herschel thing. So sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
You've already plumbed the depths of my casual fandedness, but all I have to say in conclusion is that if the Vikings cannot bring it to the final big game with Culpepper, Moss, and Carter, they're not going to bring it with Darnold.
They also had on the defensive side. They also had
man.
Oh God,
who was that animal they had on the defensive end? God, I can't remember his name offhand.
Merriweather. Merriweather?
Vikings.
John Randall?
John Randall.
John Randall was one of the great
fucking
nasty bastards, dude. He was
Jared Allen.
Oh, Jared Allen?
Jared Allen, too.
Yeah, they had him on the other side of that with Culpepper and Moscow as well. So they had offensive and with Randall and Jared Allen, and I forget who was in the middle. They had offensive insanity and defensive crushing power. Those three.
But Scott is right. It's crazy that like Minnesota never popped through with that fucking.
Right. No, he's right. It's
well, okay, but I would argue this. There's always seemed like there was shit happening to them.
Yeah.
Whenever they were supposed to have the team, they like a player couldn't finish the season. Remember when Culpepper got fucked up, and they ended up trading to get
for a minute, and we weren't happy.
Yeah, I mean, I felt terrible for them because every time they should have had the right the team looked like it was ready to just explode and at least make our Super Bowl run. Some shit would happen to them, where somebody would get hurt. Or multiple players would get hurt. It was a bad.
Set Moss off
bad luck.
England, like Tom Brady needed fucking Randy Moss that season.
Yeah, well, remember first he went to the Raiders.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
That was great.
Brady threw like 53 touchdowns that season when he went when Moss came in.
Randy was almost like begging somebody to come and save me from this shitty ass team.
Get away from these animals. Get away from these criminals.
I gotta go. I gotta get out of this place. Oh, it was so funny. I felt bad that he was there. I was like, you can't stick one of the greats. We're watching one of the greats to ever play the game right now, and he's there. Yeah. Oh my God. I gonna lie, I was even though he went to New England, I was kind of disgusted by that, but I was happy at least he was out of off that
Yeah,
Raiders
away from
team.
that.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is what I used to feel about the Jets. Anytime a good player or somebody I liked a lot went to the Jets, I was like, oh man, that's where careers go to die. No.
Okay, I might have one because I'm a homer, and it might be worse than that Herschel Walker trade.
I'd
Which
love
one?
to hear this.
In 1980, the Golden State Warriors traded Robert Parrish and the 3rd overall pick to the Boston Celtics for the 1st overall pick in the draft. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And who else are they at? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, and an additional 1st rounder. Okay.
Okay.
That 3rd pick in the draft ended up being Kevin McHale.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And the Warriors.
That front line, that's McHale, Parrish, Bird.
So Bird was
Hall of
the
Famers.
year before.
But
And
I'm
then-
just saying that's what they ended
Yeah.
up with, having that.
And the Warriors used that 1st pick to select Joe Barry Carroll.
Don't even know who the fuck that is. That tells you right there.
I
I've
still
never heard of
think
that.
the volume that they got for Herschel was immensely worse, but they both ended up being absolute dynasties that won multiple championships. So
Yeah.
was McHale the piece, and Robert Parrish the piece that did it? Maybe it ended up being that starting 5. All of them, Ainge, Dennis
Parrish.
Johnson, Bird, McHale, Parrish, they all ended up Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
So
It's disturbing. Just disturbing moves. Oh man, y'all are depressing me now. Stop it. Football.
Cat.
what are we here for tonight, man?
Hey,
Well,
yeah,
man.
that's I tell you what. Wait a minute. I wanted to touch on these fucking figures Scott was telling us about earlier.
The
so-
Jada Toys.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jada Toys has been killing it, and I have one of them. He's got ones that I want to get, and I need to go ahead and order them and get them at some point. But yeah, and these guys for $25, I'm telling you, I'd do the Pepsi challenge with them against any higher end company anytime.
For sure.
I think they are really good.
Yeah.
Can we
I
get
was
like a
looking at
full
it
view,
today.
top to bottom of what is the
Yeah,
size?
yeah.
All right,
Just
we're
not-
looking-
there's this-
we're looking-
there's a scene
Hammer.
there's a scene in Street Fighter 2 I was trying to
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They're
Um,
6-inch
but,
scale DVB.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're 6-inch, and they come with multiple hands, which I'm not.
Ken
sure.
fucking
They
Masters,
also
what a
come with-
badass.
They all come. They also come with a Hyrukin. Actually, hold on.
They come
course
with
they
a Dragon
do.
Punch too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
there it
look at
is.
that.
They're the like fireball
On a-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
on a stand, yeah. There's actually a second set of hand inside there that I haven't figured out how to get out yet.
Oh, wicked!
Actually, it's not a second set. It's like a 3rd set or 4th set of hands.
Right.
Jesus
How you
Christ!
count it. But yeah,
$25. That's it.
25. He's
Yeah,
got a second
that's what they're
head.
on.
Wow.
So he comes
Yeah.
with his Laffy Taffy head.
Right.
And he also comes with I've got a really big
yeah.
load that I'm squeeze out.
It's
He's-
time to get rid of.
He's got a strain to push that bitch out, man.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on a minute, I got a big turd.
Yeah, are you guys
But,
Street Fighter guys then?
I literally I sold candy when I was a kid. My mom and dad couldn't my mom and dad were divorced, so my mom couldn't afford all that stuff, and so I wanted a Nintendo really bad. So I started at 14 selling candy. And this sounds really sketch, and it actually feels like it was sketch at the time, but this was the 80s, right? So
Yeah.
we literally there was this dude in a van that brought us around to neighborhoods. We had these egg crates that were filled with different kinds of candy. We go to door and sell the candy, and then we get a commission for everyone we sold. And that's how I paid for my Nintendo my Nintendo 64. That was the first one, right?
It's pretty fucking cool, actually.
Super
And,
Nintendo probably.
And so we go out in the evenings, and then on Saturdays we go out, and then at noon we'd break, he'd take us to the mall to get food. Of course, some of us wouldn't get food. We'd just go up to the arcade. And that's where I would play Street Fighter 2.
Fucking A.
And,
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so they've got Butterfly. They've got bicep rotation. They've got pinless, double jointed elbows, double jointed feet.
Yeah, man.
Rockers. I mean, like these are $25 freaking dollars.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so I was looking at this the other day, and I'm like, hey, listen, like I had a lot of good times at that arcade when I was.
Oh yeah.
And I can have the entire Street Fighter 2. Like we're talking the original guys. We're talking about all this bullshit with Akuma and all the other characters. Like, this is the original, like 8 characters plus like.
Right.
But I can have that entire collection for $225.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of it, Amazon's selling every single one of them. So that means I get with my Prime free shipping.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly. Yeah, you're doing good. It's awesome.
Right. I picked up Ken. I really every one of the original crew that were available. So Ryu, which is basically the same. Box, right.
Mm-hmm.
Dalsim.
Yeah. What a.
Now, weren't
cool
you saying that he comes with like extendable shit?
Yeah. Hold on, I got it.
Yeah. He stretches. He has the stretchy arms.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's fucking cool,
there's
dude.
There's the foot.
You can set up some wicked fucking poses with that.
Yep. He comes with a second head.
Yoga fire.
That's a dope head.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
And then everyone's favorite hipster, and which you know I'm talking about hips, right? Hipster. Chun-Li, who interestingly enough, I didn't realize it was actually played by Ming-Na Wen back in the day. I didn't realize that was where she came from. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that shit either.
No, man. And then finally, the other one that has been released.
Yeah,
man. Right
he looks so stout. Yeah. They did a good job on him.
Tape that's got the wire on the end of it. So
that's cool. So you can do the blowing in the wind.
Now, was he 25 too?
Yeah.
All of them just 25. Huh? Nice.
That's what I'm shocked about.
He's $25.
Yeah, he's a really good.
He comes with this.
So we're clearly in the Street Fighter 2 era with these guys.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
And I'm sure they're gonna finish up that first. Yeah, that's cool. Cause
they got a Fei Long too.
Because who's left to do? I have the Fei Long.
Blanca?
Blanca's left to do.
I want to see.
Yeah, Vega. Blanca will be badass. Vega, yeah.
Hondo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. E Honda.
Yep.
I haven't seen a Balrog yet, have I?
Balrog. And that's it.
Yeah.
Vega.
Yep.
There's a Vega too, right?
Yeah, Vega will be coming out too. Yep.
Awesome. So you guys all really played, Street Fighter 2, right? Like endlessly, like we all did. Who was your go-to of the original 8? Who was your go-to character that you played if you had to win a match?
Ryan.
Okay.
Ryu.
So you had to unlock Bison.
Yeah,
he
was just the end boss, right?
Okay.
So in 2 Tournament Edition and 2 Special Edition and stuff, you can unlock them, but just flat out Vanilla 2, they had those 8 characters. Who was your go-to? Guile has to be in there somewhere too, maybe.
Sagat?
He was a boss character in that area.
Yeah, Sagat was a boss character.
Yep.
Oh, so you could have
Vega, Sagat, Balrog, and Bison were boss characters.
Okay, so you're not counting them.
No, the original 8.
Original 8.
Yeah, for me it was Ken. For me it was Ken. Ken was my boy. That's the one I always used.
Blanca or Chun-Li, but usually Blanca.
Chun-Li.
Blanca was so easy to take care of. You block.
Well, he didn't have the lightning
rolling attack. And the lightning attack, you just low kick it, and
you
he's
could
done.
defend.
Right.
Mine was his. I fought a lot of jumpers. He had this move where the claws went straight up like that, and you could just drop the jumpers so easy. So as a kid, everyone was jumpers, so that made it easy. Honda also had this overhand chop to block the jumpers. So that's why I picked both.
A
of them.
lot of times, like the cheapest way to win with Chun-Li is people would expect you to be doing the kick, and so what I would do would be I'd jump in and throw because her throw with the bounce could become an almost infinite juggle.
Yeah, you could block it. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Ryu taking care of jumpers was just about the uppercut.
That's exactly what it was. Just that spin around. Yeah, and I was, but I just liked him because I could play as Ryu too, but I liked Ken just because I thought he was cool looking. I don't know why.
And I also I don't know if it was in like Hyper or one of the other versions, but Ryu and Ken, like one of their damaging normal attacks was the downward punch. That was like 2. Yeah. So like if it didn't hit the first time, it could break the block too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were but I think if they put the block on, I think it was less damage.
Yeah, I put that up while you were talking, but I thought it was pretty self-evident.
It came with warm feelings, not the same kind of warm feelings, from other things, but it came with warm feelings.
Yeah, see, we were talking about these last night in the hangout, and I went to Target. I went to Target today because I needed some shit, and I looked at him, and I wanted that Fei Long. I'm like, I'm just gonna grab the Fei Long. I'm gonna grab the Fei Long, and then I walked by the wrestling aisle, and they had Bruno.
Oh, of course.
And I like as much as I love fucking. Street Fighter.
You're like,
Bruno, baby.
Fucking greatest Italian American of all time, god damn it.
Now, was it older Bruno, or is it like Bruno when he was younger?
Oh, it's young Bruno, dude.
That's
good. The green tights.
Oh, that's great, dude. Absolutely. That's good. Does he have the... Yeah.
That's the Chun-Li kick effect.
Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty bad. Oh yeah, when she does her multi kick, that's fucking awesome.
And
dude.
that was another thing. Like you were talking about, like when Blanca with anti-air could do like that thing.
Yeah.
Chun-Li's kick. If you fucking did medium kick instead of a hard kick, it would go through because of the priority.
Fucking wicked, dude.
Like there's so much
Blanca's lightning
shit.
too, or electricity also took care of the jumpers. But
that's true.
That's why is this for whatever reason we're kids, we're 12 years old, whatever we are, and we played a lot of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all these games, and there's like the whole neighborhood that was their move: jump in, kick. So if you had a jump block, it was just a matter of just waiting there and throwing that thing straight up, and you got.
I like to bait out the Blancas because if you just there was such a natural reaction to going into electricity or to the thing with the if somebody jumped, but if I backed up a couple of steps and then jumped in so that my jump was short, then Blanca either does his thing or does the electricity, and then you low kick him and he's done.
Yeah, sure. You're right. It was a defense against his block.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, the other cheap one that would piss people the fuck off was Dalsim's slide.
Well, yeah, that's because people would.
I would do that shit. I would fucking slide into you 3 times.
You're
wait
one of
for the birds to come, jump over your ass, dance a little bit, and then slide you again.
You're one of those.
Or PS5, Nick?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a PS4 or PS5?
I got a PS5, yeah.
Okay, we got to get on and play some Street Fighter.
I can't play like 4 or 5. I'm not good at those ones. I'll play classic Street Fighter with you, definitely. And Bert, shout out to Burgess and Sam. We love you both. But Burgess has been talking about the fucking Capcom collection.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So like the Marvel vs. Capcom shit DVD is on the PS5, the Switch. I don't know if it's out on Xbox yet. But it's
honestly
the entire collection.
I think what's ruined fighting games for me, and it's just because I'm old now. I'm 50.
Mhm.
Is the whole like combo, wombo combo bullshit that
Yeah.
now, where you suddenly you're down 3/4 of your health bar because somebody was able to string a bunch of fucking combos together to kill you. And it's like, come on, man. Like, the Street Fighter 2 back in the day, or Mortal Kombat back in the day, it was way more like you had to be tactical and you had to be consistently good throughout the game.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing about it was that you actually had to have tactile experience on the game to be good at it. If you fucking look at fighting games now, there's YouTube.
Well, yeah, that's what you mean.
YouTube will tell you, okay, this is what you do, and this is an infinite jump.
Yeah. That's a good point. Whereas back in the day, you guys had to get your experience by playing.
Yeah,
that's
what my kid does. Like anytime a game comes out, he goes online and he looks to see who is the most OP fighter in the game, and he names that character. Yeah,
exactly.
But like, I can't talk because like I used to win tournaments. I used to play in tournaments in the arcade. My game was Tekken Tag.
Killer Instinct.
I like Tekken Tag. That was good. That's a good game.
Yeah, like
it's good.
Tekken Tag back in the day, there was a team that you could put together, and unless the person was extremely good, they were losing. And it was Eddie, Gordo, and Huron.
Eddie Gordo's a badass.
Was it Eddie that was the one that would flop everywhere?
The capoeira, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And Huron was like the kickboxer dude with the long limbs and like the red hair.
Yeah.
And you could switch stances with him and shit. He would do this. Yeah, man. You would start with
Tekken. So, mine were primarily, it was Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, and then they got this new one in the arcade called Virtual Fighter. And that was awesome. It just didn't have.
I remember Virtual Fighter. Yeah.
Now, did you ever play it the way it was meant to be played?
I put a quarter in and kicked my ass.
Did you play it on like a computer screen?
When I played it at the arcade, so I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
No, what I mean is like when you were playing the game, were you standing up at like a machine that resembled a fucking like Street Fighter 2 machine?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. There was a place on Cape Cod that had the real Virtua Fighter, and it was a virtual reality before virtual reality.
Oh, no, I
it
never
was
played
holograms.
That. No, I never played anything like that.
So it was developed by Sega, and that's why I think it led the Dreamcast or the Saturn. It was like one of the launch games for that, like Virtua Fighter 3 or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like because I remember the sumo guy in Virtua Fighter, the first one. So like it was actual. It looked like it was a table with a dome that you looked down on while you were playing.
Oh damn!
And
I never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I've got to find it because it sounds so like fantastical, but it's fucking true. Fucking Joe here. Killer Instinct was my jam back in the day. Cinder and Kilgore were my go-to.
Oh god, TJ Combo and Saberwolf.
I liked Saberwolf and Yago.
I don't remember Yago.
Yago was the dude with the swords.
Oh no, the ninja guy, the blue. And
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I remember him. Yep, yeah. I do remember.
Now to
here's
go.
Another one for you.
Go ahead.
So this is 1983. So I was 19 at the time. I was a freshman in college.
Did you say 1983?
1993. 1993.
Oh, okay. I was like, God damn, you ain't that much older than me.
Yeah. And Sega Genesis, Eternal Champions.
Eternal Champions has a movie coming out.
Seriously?
I shit not.
Really?
Yes.
Who even remembers that game? I mean, like,
I don't.
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't remember the names of any of the guys.
I vaguely remember it, but I don't think I ever played it. I just remember hearing about it.
I don't think I played it either.
Larson,
Yeah.
Midnight, Rax, Shadow.
It had like
Slash,
on the
Triton.
cover there was a dude
Wild,
there was kind of like a werewolf, almost like lion kind of guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember what his name is, but yeah, I'm on PC Gamer right now. A movie adaptation of 1993 Sega fighting game Eternal Champions is on the way. For some reason, so get ready to watch a caveman fight a cyborg kickboxer.
That's crazy. Kind of fun though. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that game was actually like
It was fun.
It was a Genesis exclusive.
Yep.
Okay.
And the mechanics for Eternal Champions were different than any other fighter out at the time. It was like it was almost, I want to say, like Killer Instinct before Killer Instinct.
Okay.
Yeah. I would agree with that. It's interesting too. I was my mom, of course, was a single mom, so she couldn't pay for anything in college. So I was there in college paying my own way. So I was working security at the college. And I literally walk through the dorms and come up to the room, which I knew in Sega Genesis, and sit down on my shift and play a couple rounds. With
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now the biggest video game question of all time in my mind.
Okay.
Genesis or Super NES?
I love the Genesis, but I got way more out of the Super Nintendo, so Super Nintendo.
I
See,
hated
I feel like that was
Genesis,
the first. That was the first split of actual like true, more mature gaming.
Yeah, because Sega was the company that was like, they had, I think their games were more like, to me they had more adult like games. Like they were, you could play some hardcore shit a little bit for that day, whereas Nintendo still had the bubblegum games a lot, and but I still say I enjoyed those bubblegum games more. I just didn't like the Sega Genesis. I didn't like a lot of stuff about it, man. It just drove me crazy.
I loved the stripped down controller where it was only 3 buttons as
buttons.
opposed to X, Y, A, B, fucking left, right, B, do, boo, boo, boo. But I think like the thing that about the Super Nintendo is I appreciated it as I got older because of the library and the franchises that Nintendo
That's true
had.
too. You're right.
Because you weren't the Super Castlevania was not on the Genesis.
That's true, and that's
more out of the Super Nintendo. So I like the Genesis. I like
the first Madden game I ever played was on the Super Nintendo.
Mine was Genesis.
Mine was Genesis.
And I played Joe Montana.
Yep.
I played Jordan versus Bird.
Bird 1-on-1.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I had that one.
What's the other one? There's another awesome game I liked on Super Nintendo.
Evander Holyfield Real Deal Boxing.
Real Deal Box. Yep.
It was one of the best boxing games.
I remember Super Tecmo Bowl was the other one I liked to play.
Nintendo 64, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, man.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite of all time. I still play it to this day
Glasgow.
on emulator. I still run the Philadelphia Eagles as my team because you cannot fucking catch Randall Cunningham.
I know he was
I'll take the
unbelievable.
Raiders. I'll take the Raiders because there's no other way I'm playing
Bo
Tecmo
Jackson.
Bowl. Yeah.
So Bo Jackson,
With Tecmo Bowl. Remember, what's funny about Tecmo Bowl? They had they used the names of some of the players, but some of the players they couldn't use their names.
Number
because
32.
And for the Eagles, it was just QB1.
QB Eagles. It was QB
Yep,
Eagles.
QB Eagles.
That's
QB
right.
Eagles. Yeah, QB Eagles.
Okay, yeah.
Because it wasn't Randall Cunningham. It was but it was Randall Cunningham. You know what I mean? It was meant to be Randall Cunningham.
And everything, but they couldn't.
Yeah.
Remember that classic Bo Jackson poster with the shoulder pads?
Bow nose with the pads and the.
Like this.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. Damn, man.
He was so cool, man. Oh God, everyone wanted to. I mean, all I could think was like, I'm a badass fucking player.
Like, there.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
But like the thing about Bo Jackson is like I think Herschel Walker,
Yeah.
LeBron James are those athletes, those pure super athletes that only come along in like once in a generation.
Yeah.
Because like obviously, whatever I feel about LeBron James, you cannot take anything away from that man athletically. I'm not talking about his skill on the court. I'm talking about him being an athlete.
Right. No, definitely.
Scott is mad at me now.
No.
Jordan
No,
till I die,
I just can't believe you didn't include Jordan in that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, definitely Jordan. No, for
Jordan
sure.
is a better basketball player, but
Yes.
as far as an overall athlete,
Deion Sanders.
But hold on. But Jordan
Bo Jackson.
himself would probably admit he was never the most athletic basketball player. That's not what it was. He was the most skilled basketball player. But he wasn't like he was like.
the work ethic.
I don't know. I don't know how you judge athleticism.
Well, I mean, athleticism being, he was coordinated enough. He had all that going for him. But there were guys that had probably better cardio than he did. But his cardio was good enough.
I'm talking
Well, energy level during a game. I mean, he had a good though. He wasn't like I'm not saying he was a bad athlete.
There's only 2 times that Jordan really suffered athletically. After he came back from baseball, which means he took literally 2 years off from basketball. Baseball is not the same kind of sport from a cardio aspect.
It's definitely not.
Fucked his knee.
And then we So
he fucked his knee, and then
I don't know how you measure that.
Well,
okay. What I'm saying is, if you took Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and you ran them both through the NFL Combine, LeBron James would decimate Michael Jordan in almost every.
Well, yeah, he's 6'9", and
that's what I'm saying, and like and that's what I mean.
But you're putting him in NFL, which obviously favors a larger body frame. Where
that's true.
Okay, if you put him in,
let's say ball, like LeBron
baseball,
if you look
baseball. Right, but if you look at the athletic things that you look at in basketball and compare Jordan and LeBron, I mean,
the fridge was great at football. He wasn't fucking very athletic.
He would have been a great swimmer.
But I mean, if you
that's the distinction. That's the distinction I'm making. You did it in a way more extreme way, but all I'm saying is that I believe overall LeBron is a better athlete.
He could be.
Than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is decidedly a better basketball player.
Yeah,
I couldn't
tell you an athletic standpoint because you'd have to basically pit the two cardio. That'd be very.
And yeah, the only reason I'm saying that is because I watched. And I hate giving LeBron any kind of props. Believe me, I do. I fucking despise it. But I've watched LeBron play games where we're playing some games where he was just his motor just didn't stop. And Jordan had a good motor too. Don't get me wrong. Jordan was insane, and then from start to finish. But I just think LeBron. I've watched LeBron get through a whole game, and I feel like he had more in the tank than Jordan did at times. Jordan, you could tell when Jordan was done. Jordan was tired, dude. And especially later in his career.
Tons of props. Like I don't mind giving LeBron props.
I don't like
what bothers me is when LeBron fans.
I will present this. Jordan
try to claim that LeBron is the GOAT.
You know what? That's another thing too. We got to keep in mind. They also played in 2 different eras too. Yeah. So maybe. Yeah, Jordan also had to put up with getting the fuck beat out of him too while he's playing basketball, which that can wear you out a little bit more than not getting your. So maybe Jordan. Maybe we don't want to take too much away from his athleticism because he was probably.
But this goes.
And he's getting his ass kicked by the Pistons. Then he flies to New York and gets the shit beat out of him by you.
But you're saying this goes beyond just the basketball game, is what you mean?
Yeah, get your ass kicked and then try to have wind.
Yeah. But all right. So Jordan's credited with a 48-inch vertical, which is extremely fucking impressive.
It's insane.
Michael Jordan's also probably 6'6". Michael Jordan's listed as 6'6" and about 220 when he was
20-ish.
Yeah. No, for Jordan to accomplish what he accomplished at 6'6" in the NBA is fucking amazing, and that's what
Crazy
people
good.
don't.
But-
understand.
Unreal.
Right. But like
Right.
this is what I'm saying here. Jordan was 6'6" and 210, 210, 220, right? After he bulked up, we'll say he was about
I mean, that's
220.
Problem.
Okay,
Yeah,
LeBron James is 6'9" and probably in what? He's listed at 265, but we've seen him as heavy as 280 to 290 pounds at least.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
LeBron James's vertical is 44 inches.
Just 4 inches shy of Jordan. Okay, that's actually pretty good for LeBron. I didn't know that. No shit.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pure like track and field, fucking pushing weight, like those athletic things. I don't think that you can argue. Like in LeBron, and
I see what
Russ
you're
brought it
saying.
up. Like
Maybe.
LeBron is a fucking cardio animal. He averages more minutes than Jordan did, and like you said, like Jordan was tired at the end of games, being beaten the fuck up.
Well, also Jordan had to kind of take a lot of games on his own shoulders, which meant he had to work more because sometimes those bull teams
what I
would
tell
go
you
away.
I would be more interested in knowing what those averages were. Number one,
Yeah, me too.
at the same age, right? Because LeBron started in the NBA right out of high school.
That is
Jordan
a
started 3 years later.
That's true. Out of college, you're right.
So
Yep.
take same age to age. And you could still be right. Like he could still average more minutes in a game.
If you take,
and again, I don't mind athleticism. Hey, if people want to give LeBron a win for athleticism, I think it's hard to quantify. But if you want, that's great.
And I honestly think it's hard to quantify a bit too. But it's more of you just what your eyes tell you. If you think that, but I I'm not gonna say Jordan. I would never say Jordan was like not athletic though.
no,
Jordan's
I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, I know
I'm
you
saying,
wouldn't.
I'm
Yeah, I know
saying
you're
that
not.
LeBron James is
Yeah.
probably the best pure athlete we've seen on this planet.
I don't know. It's hard for me to. It's hard to argue that.
Definition of pure athlete is right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's What do you?
Take cardio? Take any kind of marathon runner
Right,
or
but-
bike or bicyclist for that
Okay.
professional bicyclist for that
Right,
matter.
but if you only take one thing at a time, say, okay, so a bicyclist or marathon runner is going to beat him in cardio. Okay,
Right,
take
but
that,
not in other
take,
stuff.
Take that same athlete. Is he going to beat him in vertical? Is he going to beat him in fast twitch? Is he going to beat him in this? Is he going to beat him in that?
Maybe.
You
and we
understand?
don't have those kind of stats, right? So that's the
Yeah.
that's the difficult part of quantifying.
And you're absolutely right. A whole bunch of it is like also just eye test. Like I was talking about LeBron being probably the best pure athlete like that we've seen, and then like I go and flash to my head to Myles Garrett,
Yikes.
Lawrence Taylor, stuff like that too. It is very hard to quantify, but like the things that LeBron James can do physically at his size, at his weight, are extremely impressive. I
He's
don't
an amazing
have.
athlete.
Okay, I'm sick of LeBron James, and I'm sick of fucking
Brock
basketball.
Lesnar would kick his ass.
That's another.
It's not comic?
That's another one.
That
Brock,
guy. Yeah. So what comic did we come here for tonight there, Nick? What are we looking at?
Okay, let me go ahead and get into this because
Zombots.
we are at 15 to 11.
Yeah.
So Scott, you've read some comics before, mostly Transformers, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You're not too familiar with superhero comics before this, or
Outside of movies
Mhm.
and one stint with reading Infinity War, no familiarity
okay.
before we
So-
started collaborating.
I thought it'd be a really good idea because I love getting people and showing them new things in comics. So we were talking in a hangout and talking about Scott's inexperience with comics besides like, you know, the Transformers stuff and the other
Right.
things that he's read and the movies. So like we were trying to come up with a series that would like throw Scott into superhero comics and might be something that he would enjoy.
That's kinda
And also
cool.
and also have maybe some deeper themes and some other things that we could discuss about it. So in the hangout, like EE was there and a bunch of us, and we decided to start with Grant Morrison's Justice League of America. Just some context for this series because there was we did the first 4 issues because that's the first arc. There is some confusing stuff that does end up happening. Scott brought up some really good points when we were talking about this first. In this book, the Green Lantern is not Hal Jordan or John Stewart, it is Kyle Rayner. And this is, you know, this is huge because the Justice League book before this had been, after the death of Superman, had just been like, whoever it doesn't have a solo book that we think will be interesting, we'll throw in this. Well, that book ended up being canceled. So this book was the relaunch of the Justice League with the Big Seven of DC, which is basically your movie Justice League. So you've got Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. So there are some characters there that aren't, but that is considered DC's Big Seven. And again, this is relaunching the Justice League after a period of time where it hadn't been published. This would be like,
and when you talk, just for I'm outsider, right? Looking in. When you talk about Big Seven, you're talking about like their kind of most profitable characters,
most profitable and most formidable.
Okay.
Most commonly used good guys as well.
Yeah. There's other characters that arguably could beat the shit out of people on the Justice League, but the Justice League is kind of in DC considered the line you don't cross. If you're gonna fight the Justice League, you better fucking bring it because this is the most powerful, you know, incarnation.
This is the A team
of a
This
group.
is the
Yeah.
varsity team.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
To bring it back to sports one more time.
I'm sure everybody loves that. So, a couple notes here. I want to get into the Howard Porter art. First of all, just like some general questions, you know, before we get into the story and stuff. How did you like the art on the book?
So the art style was nice. I appreciated it in the sense that it didn't turn me off. There's definitely some art styles that turned me off for sure. There's a few, I don't know how to describe them compared to, but in Transformers, there's a couple of artists that do very grainy, dark, very hard to kind of make out the details type of art. And I don't like that at all. It drives me crazy. And in fact, I can probably pull an IDW comic and tell you exactly who the artist is that drives me crazy.
Guido Guidi?
No.
That's his. I believe that's his name, or Guido, or it's something similar to that.
I'll pull it out of here because it's.
But I know what you're talking about. Like
in every single freaking one.
For comics, it would be like Frank Quitely, probably.
But yeah, so the art, I appreciated the fact that it didn't turn me off. Let's put it that way.
That's cool.
That's fair.
Overall,
Livio Ramondelli is the dude.
Oh, okay.
And
Rob Liefeld?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this is I'll give it to you. Like, can you, I don't know. Like, it's just very difficult to tell details.
Let me.
Right.
There you go, brother. Put it back up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No
yeah.
problem.
So it's just super. Like, look at this
Super
one, for
dark.
example. This pain. Yeah. Like, what, there's just not enough there to give me any kind of. Look at that. Like, trying to show me a picture, man. Like, show me the freaking picture, not all darkened out, and it seems like I don't know if lazy is the right word for it, because I'm not an artist. I'm not trying to demean his art at all, but just from a visual perspective on me enjoying it, like for me, comics, the whole thing about comics, and you can I'm not sure if this is going to offend anyone's sensibilities from a comic standpoint or not, but 75% of it is visual. 25% of it is the story and what I'm reading.
Yeah, I would say though, because the visuals are so there, right there, like and then if you the text is not huge. It's you know what I mean. The text isn't big enough. There's not enough of it to make it the thing that stands out. You know, you're just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
So to me,
we are
Justice League of
visual
America
creatures.
GLA
That's true.
did not turn me off. Did not turn me off.
Okay. We're I know you went further than what we talked about, but for that first 4 issues, were there any story issues that you kind of had overall?
So from somebody who's being introduced to it, right at the beginning, it you know, because again, my only previous comic interaction from a physical media standpoint, not a visual, was Infinity War. The same issue, and it seemed to be even a little bit more of the case here, because they were talking about characters that and references that came before it, right? That I didn't have any idea about.
Yeah.
That made it difficult, because it basically took me out of the story to think, okay, what is that reference to? I don't understand that, but okay, let's move on, because I'm not going to understand it because they didn't give me any backstory.
I think that's a very good point and a very salient point about comics, because there is, you know, we're talking about 85th anniversary of Batman this year. Marvel Comics is over 60 years old, almost 70, is going to be 70 years old soon. So we're looking at all these versions of characters that they have, and as they update them, they become less consistent. And so it creates a wall for a new reader to just run and hit their head into.
Yeah, you know, like our Transformers type of stuff. And again, that's what I'm most familiar with, so I'm going to reference back to it most often. They reinvent themselves every few years, right? We get a new backstory, we get a new kind of origin story, et cetera, et cetera. But it makes it least you know, able for an entry level person to kind of come into it.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know if comics does that or not. My impression is that the kind of the most common reboot is just simply of, oh, that's no longer Hal Jordan, it's now this dude.
Yeah. That is a really good point. Comics does have a problem with finding characters as disposable.
Yes.
As soon as something isn't the new hotness, it gets thrown to the wayside, and they do a different version of the character. So that is definitely another great point. So this first 4-issue arc talks about, basically, there's a group of superhumans that have come from a doomed planet, and they're here to save Earth, whether the Justice League wants them to or not. Grant Morrison is a weird dude. I love him. He is my favorite comic writer of all time. Just going into this for some themes, and I'm glad I have, you guys here, because you'll understand what I go into here. The Justice League, how Grant Morrison positioned them, are an analog to the Greek pantheon of gods. Okay? So you've got Superman as Zeus.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is Hera.
Okay.
Batman is Hades. The Martian Manhunter is Hephaestus. Aquaman is obviously Neptune.
Yeah.
You got the Flash for Hermes, and Green
Okay.
Lantern is Apollo.
Would it be Poseidon for Aquaman?
Oh yeah, Poseidon. Sorry, Poseidon.
No, you're good.
Neptune. Depends.
Yeah.
I always confuse Greek and Roman because they're so
know it.
derivative of each other.
It's okay. Roman basically stole their gods from the Greeks, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. You're about basically the same guys.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
But I reread this today, and I really found some things that still resonate today.
Mm.
Did you find that, Scott?
So I
Maybe
can't say that
politically
I
in this country.
Oh boy.
So I wasn't at that level from a thinking standpoint as I was reading this. I'll be honest. Like, this is my first impression, so I'm absorbing it all first time, and so I don't get. I'm not thinking on a more deep level of like layered meaning. So I'll say just pretty clearly no. I didn't look at it in that way. I was in it completely for entertainment, and fortunately, it was shallow enough for me to be completely entertained and not have to think of it on level.
Yeah. So you were entertained by it. Did you find the story contained in the four issues? Did you find it to be like? All right, so you read Infinity War, and Infinity War was a couple of years before this. Did you find maybe a more cinematic take to this comic than you did in Infinity War?
So I felt this is more grounded than Infinity War. You know, Infinity War was fantastical. We're talking about Thanos and death and his courting death and all, you know, and of course, you know, outside of the movies, when you talk about the comics of Infinity War, you talk about death as being an actual physical character. You know, whereas I thought, you know, the movies of the Marvel universe actually like gave it a very grounded, like his Thanos to me is potentially one of the best characters that ever came out of the Marvel movies, just in the sense of his motivations and how they explained what about him. Whereas Infinity War, like Thanos is doing this almost all entirely for poontang, if you will.
Straight up.
He's trying to impress Lady Death there, buddy.
He wants
Yeah.
to get his shay on with Lady Death.
Right. But this story was way more grounded than that. But the nice thing about the balance here, and this is partly why I love IDW so much, from a Transformers aspect, is that there is the heavy moments, but then there is the comedy, which I really enjoyed. Like I literally laughed, you know, the whole LOL, the literal laugh out loud, and immediately texted Nick when I can't remember what Hawk's that dude's comment was, but effectively or not comment, but I can't remember what his name was, but he essentially, like, Wonder Woman's headed into something, and she's like, watch my back, and he's like, I'd pay money to watch back. Yeah. And literally the panel is of her you know, running down, you know, on her backside, right? So it's like I can appreciate, like, I like that. Like, give me a little bit of that inside the weighty, and I can definitely you know.
Yeah, he's like, man, I'd fucking pay. I'd put the dollar bills down the fucking down them jaws for you ass, baby. Oh, you hollow piece of ass.
Like, and this one here, this is Hitman. I only came along to check out Wonder Woman with my X-ray vision. Like,
fucking A, man. Hell yeah.
You know, thank you for
too.
you know. Yeah, thank you for, you know, understanding that your core audience is male and we are juvenile and petty and
let's be honest,
right.
if you had X-ray vision, that's exactly what you would do. We would all do it.
So, oof.
We would all check chicks out naked under their fucking clothes.
100%.
We would.
I should be on
Absolutely.
the offenders list because
I would. I'd be a predator. It'd be terrible.
Right.
Issues 1 through 4, I think, didn't have as much of that, but they also didn't have as much of some annoying stuff that, like, I'm on like issue 8 now, and and something that's come along with issues 5, 6, and 7 have been like the Green Lantern character. It's not Hal Jordan. I can't remember the name of the guy. Kyle, but he's like fanboying after Superman all the time, and it's just kind of annoying. Yeah.
Kyle Rayner kind of. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Kyle Rayner. Okay, the story about how he came across was, again, DC decided that Hal Jordan needed to go away because it was the same time around the death of Superman and breaking of the Bat. So they decided for Hal Jordan it was going to be Emerald Twilight. So they had Mongol and Cyborg Superman destroy the city that Hal Jordan's from. Just fucking eviscerate it. And so he goes absolutely nuts. Goes to the Guardians of the Universe, who are the people that run the Green Lantern Corp, and say, look, this is my city, this is my home, this is where my family was. I know you have the power. Restore it for me. And they refuse.
Oh, no shit, really?
So Hal Jordan says, you're not going to do that? Okay. I am going to kill every Green Lantern that you have ever fucking made.
I have that book on the front.
And I am going to take all of their rings and become willpower and restore Coast City. And that's what he does.
I
that's crazy.
Comic. On that comic on the cover, you see him like they're looking down at the rings, and he's got like 3 rings. It's just like I still have that book, and I can remember that cover straight up. Yep.
So like with Kyle, a lot of that he was created by Ron Mars, who I love. He did a wonderful run on Silver Surfer. I love his Green Lantern run. Kyle in his Green Lantern run actually becomes a likable and understandable character. What you're saying here is Grant Morrison didn't do it well. He tried to use Kyle as a point of view character.
Okay.
So you got to think, okay, Kyle at the time was the newest character that was on the Justice League because the Flash wasn't Barry Allen in this book. It was Wally West.
Nope. Okay.
So, and Wally West was Kid Flash. So he had history and he had been around. So people that read comics knew Wally, but they didn't know Kyle. So that's why he was inserted as this, point of view character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just to me also it lightened up too much lightened up the character of Green Lantern, because to me Green Lantern, like the idea that you can create things out of thought with that ring, it makes you, to me, it should make you one of the most powerful beings, and yet here he is like the fanboy following Superman around like a sycophant, and so yeah.
I know exactly what we need to make you read next for Justice League.
All right. So my next note was the other confusing part about 1 through 4 was this group that comes in is effectively like a supplanting, if you will. Yes, the HyperClan are basically Martians. Right, they're the same as the Martian Manhunter. Right?
Spoiler alert,
dude. Yeah. But the reality is that if you don't have the context of who that dude is, then the whole reveal that there is that they're related to him, same from the same planet or whatever, or same race. Yep. It's just punches taken out of it.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Again, what you were talking about earlier, like, these are obstacles to new readers being able to enjoy comics because they can't get out of the way of themselves. And like, this is a writer that is, one of the greats, and he still has these problems in trying to work in the medium of comics.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then I did appreciate the fact. So, the one thing that kind of joined up for me, because obviously watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, or Josh Whedon's, depending on which one you're watching.
Zack Snyder.
So you get very much the impression that the reason that Batman is a part of this group is because of his intellect. It's not really the suit. It's not really, his little trinkets. It's really the dude's super smart, right? Yeah. And this, I think, this 1 through 4 drove that home, giving Batman kind of the here's the guy that in the midst of all of these kind of super beings, he was a non-entity. Like they weren't even concerned about him. He's just a human. Right. Yeah. And yet here he's the one that figures out what their weakness is and who they really are.
Yeah.
The more you read,
and so
the more
I
you'll
appreciate
see that fact come true.
Yeah. So I appreciated that connection. Actually, that made sense to me only because, like, if I were just coming into this without the movies as backdrop, especially Zack Snyder's Justice League, I would have been like, WTF? Like, why is he the one that figures this all out? Like, what's so special about him?
Oh, Batman is. The more arcs you read, you'll see that it ends up coming down to them being the bad guys, the opposition, whatever it may be, underestimating Batman, and Batman's the one that saves everybody's ass almost every time. It's just the way he's written. And I like that he's written that way because he's surrounded by aliens and gods and everything else. And as just a human, he still finds the way every time to get the job done and save everybody's ass.
Which also made me appreciate Zack Snyder's Justice League that much more in the sense of the way it portrayed Batfleck.
Mm-hmm. Now, what you're talking about here became a trope in comics. That was known as the Bat God trope.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, like, how, like, when we'll argue about comics and shit, people will be like, well, Batman's got prep time, bro.
Prep time.
Because basically Morrison put this idea in everybody's head that with enough thinking, Batman can beat anyone. That...
See, I know, I get that, but and I get because everyone gives Batman all the credit in the world because he is probably one of the smartest fucking DC fucking hero, but
at least tactically,
yeah. But I would say there are things that even sometimes there is no tactic to beat. My problem with him taking down Superman is all everyone says kryptonite. Everybody can get kryptonite to kill Superman. Okay, that's not just Batman who could do that. Everyone could do that. Just because you can get kryptonite doesn't mean you're going to kill Superman. You got to kind of get it. You got to get it either in him or around him or whatever. You got to do something to trick him into falling into your trap. And remember Batman. Remember the comic books where we find out Batman kind of has a fail safe for all the Justice League, right?
Okay, we're not talking about that right now. That's what I want him to read next.
Okay. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We'll go on to that later.
The last note that I have is, and Nick and I briefly talked about this, but basically, so moving on from issues 1 through 4 to issues 5, 6, and 7. There's a change in Superman effect that is not explained. Now, for me, outsider speak, chronologically, I'm reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, to me, that's chronological. It's natural. But yet there's a change from normal, blue and red suited Superman to a blue and white Superman that made no sense. It's just like, there he is. He's brand new and didn't explain shit. And on top of looking completely different, he can't breathe in space, which is one of the most iconic things of Superman kind of going up out of the atmosphere and into space and soaking up the sun's rays and then, coming down, kicking ass.
Yep. True.
Yep.
Agree, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a little. Every few years they reboot these characters and change what they can and cannot do. And again, I'm really enjoying talking to you about this because it does really illustrate how difficult it is for new people to come into comics. If you didn't have me, I'm pretty sure as soon as you saw Blue Superman, this was over.
Yeah, it would have been
Overwhelming.
just like, I don't know, this doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna move on.
No.
Yeah, it's like I
I hear
missed
ya.
something. What the hell did I miss? But I'm not, At this point, I wasn't invested enough. I wouldn't have been invested enough if it wasn't for what we're doing here and kind of the, the whole concept. To have been like, okay, I'm gonna continue reading because it's like, well, suddenly now there's too much stuff that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Now, like I talked about some stuff about like comparing it to the Greek pantheon and stuff. Do you mind if I go into some of the
go for
themes
it.
on this? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Basically, with the way the first point I want to make is with the way that Grant Morrison structured this story. Justice League came out in 1997. 2 years later, The Authority came out. What Grant Morrison did in this book was deconstruct and beat the shit out of the Justice League. He made those characters human and fallible, which is something that DC never did before. Because before, it was coming off this very rapid trend of breaking the Bat, killing Superman, Emerald Twilight. They ripped off they killed Green Arrow. All this death, dark, and crazy stuff. But again, they go, and as soon as they get the Justice League back together, they beat the living shit out of them. So what this did was this put a spark in Warren Ellis's mind. Warren Ellis, for people that aren't familiar with his comic work, the best thing that I can tell you would be the Red movies with Bruce Willis. He wrote the comics for those. And he also was the head writer of Castlevania on Netflix. So
that's good shit right there.
Yeah. So what Warren Ellis did was he furthered upon this idea and basically parodied the Justice League in a serious way in The Authority. Which, as much as I love Morrison, we talk on the show a lot about being stewards of these characters and taking care of them. And the way Morrison just sidelined them in 2 issues really, at the time, set them up later for more problems. A point just like the execution scene, I think in issue 3 when they try to execute Superman, and you see them all like what you were talking about, like not if you didn't have the history to know that these were white Martians, this was one of the first clues because they were all in like some of the dialogue in this issue where Kyle and Wally are talking about, they all have Superman's powers. What the hell's going on here? So
damn.
that.
Yeah.
The other thing was the when Batman was like, I know your weakness. Oh hell, what's up, Oscar? Good time.
Hey.
Yeah, snaps Sinestro's neck. Yeah, I forgot about that. In Emerald Twilight, the story that we were talking about with Green Lantern, he breaks Sinestro's neck.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yep.
I'm gonna put it in that motherfucker finally.
And then that's
Wow.
oh man, I love you, Oscar. The cover glows in the dark.
Oh wow, badass!
In like the 90s had all these things, but the cool thing about Justice League is they didn't have any of those gimmicks. The Parallax debut comic, yeah, and how they
And I remember in the '90s they had a lot of gimmicky comic things that come out. That's true.
But
Like
let me get
yeah.
through these
Go ahead.
little points before, because these are just little things that you can go back to and look if you decide to read it again. Morrison uses Metamorpho in this to voice his problems with Image Comics that he had just gotten done working for and getting screwed over with by Todd McFarlane and working on Spawn. So like, and he also uses he uses Metamorpho to talk about the design of the characters and also their names and shit, because like the fucking speedster's name is Zoom and it's Z-U with an umlaut and M. You know, that's a very Image thing. All these costumes for the White Martians were basically shit that you would have seen in Brigade or Bloodsport or some Rob Liefeld shit. So this is another time that this is something that Morrison uses to, you know, talk about his problems about the industry at that time. Now, somebody that used the same technique later, when I was talking earlier about the Authority and how they parodied the Justice League, was a comic writer named Joe Kelly. And he did a one-shot in Action Comics issue number 775 called What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way? And this is the comic that Superman versus the Elite was based on. So basically, that goes, and that's DC's answer finally 10 years later to the Authority. There was a Superman Flash race Easter egg in there, I think.
Yes.
In second or first
there
or
was.
second one. Yeah. Where Wally's like, wait, is this a race? And I think this is one of the first mentions in the comics. I am a huge Gail Simone fan also. Jesus. Fucking chat's finally going for once.
Poppin'.
Fucking love y'all. Bang bang Oscar. The women in refrigerator trope, which started when Kyle was in like his first few issues. He fought a very bad man named Major Force.
Okay.
Major Force found out who Kyle was and cut his girlfriend up into little pieces and put her in a refrigerator.
Well, that's some dark shit right there, dude.
Yeah, no shit.
So if you ever hear the term about a female character being fridged, that's where it comes from.
Oh, God.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Scott, about this?
No, I think that covers the majority of my notes.
Dave, did you have any thoughts you wanted to add?
So, when I first popped it open, I hadn't read this series, so I went 1 through 4, just like you said we were gonna do. So I was like, okay, I'll read the first 4. It took me, I don't know, 20 minutes, whatever it was, and instantly when I popped it up, I said, okay, Injustice vibes, in so much that, you know, with Injustice, you have the surrounding thing these are good guys that a bad thing happened to, and now they want to be the dominance of the world through fear and aggression. These guys come in to the other side. They want to be the dominance of the world, but they want to do it through love and respect. So I got that kind of dichotomy of the two. But as I'm reading, I instantly pick up on, these guys are fucking evil. They're the worst. So for me, it was kind of a really easy story for, considering all of the, without knowing exactly who these characters are, I already knew them. Considering, knowing the white Martians and the greens and so on, I already knew them. So having that advantage, it came in as a really easy read to follow and to understand comic book wise. I enjoyed it the first 4. I'm looking forward to the next 4. But the story I think it progressed kind of fast because there was no real telling in between of how they figured out their Martians. It was just Batman all of a sudden saying, I know your secret. And that's it. There wasn't a lot of plot to it of him hacking something or figuring I know your secret. And then it just kind of fell through. So I think it moved fast. But overall, it was pretty fun still. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I think Scott, if you like this, I think we could do Tower of Babel next.
Okay. One more thing actually that DVB
Dave.
reminded
Don't call me
me
Dave.
of Dave.
Yeah.
I'm the
Reminded me of is I thought they grappled or at least started to chew on a very deep concept that they just didn't kind of fully develop here, and then maybe it's because he had alternative intentions with taking shots at Image. I don't know, but the whole idea of these Martians coming in and doing things for the Earth, like fixing big existential problem, right? And they win over the love of humankind, if you will, because of that. And there was a little bit of back and forth of like, oh, should we, the Justice League being like, should we have kind of acted on a more broader scale to improve things? But it wasn't really fleshed out all that much, and I felt like it was kind of a lost opportunity from a more mature perspective, coming at it from my age, I guess, is if we really did have superheroes that are of this magnitude, why couldn't they be solving better and more big issues for us as opposed to just crime fighting, if you will?
It's a good point. You got the biggest, strongest, fastest, smartest, etc. Batman has all this technology that he uses to fight crime with his suits and his gadgets and his vehicles and this and that. How come he couldn't grow corn?
Yeah. But they do also come back to that in the end of the book when they're surveying what happened in the Sahara after the HyperClan's defeated.
Yeah, it all goes back to the was it couldn't sustain it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, that's kind of like, I understand what you're saying. There definitely was opportunity to go into it as a way deeper issue. But he does come back to it in the way that he can later. In only 2 issues later. You'll find that Morrison, the more you read, has themes that repeat through his books, just like any other author.
Okay.
But I really think that we'd be on a good track. And I'll let you say whatever you need to right after this. But if we do Tower of Babel after this, that's another Justice League story that we were referring to earlier. I really think I know people were saying the X-Men, but what you just touched on, the Authority, the other book that I was suggesting, the parody of the Justice League, it really tackles those issues. It tells you straight up, okay, we are the most powerful people on this planet. Something is coming to threaten us. What is the most direct and fucking crazy way that we can take care of this problem without any of our people being hurt? And like the things that they do in that book are crazy. And in all honesty, the Authority probably had in those early years one of the best runs in comics. Another quick thing that I wanted to mention. I don't know how familiar any of you guys are with Thunderbolts. Marvel. Okay. The story originally, I'm not going to be spoiling anything for the movie because obviously it's going to be a different thing than what the original book was because it's a completely different cast and it's the MCU and they changed things. Well, the conceit of the Thunderbolts when they first appeared was they appeared after an event called Onslaught. So what happened in Onslaught was all of the human heroes that weren't mutants got shunted off to an alternate reality where the Image people wrote their books for like a year. Okay? So the world had a dearth of superheroes besides the mutants, who nobody trusted, everybody feared, and they were even more pissed off now because Onslaught was a mutant. So to take up the slack comes a new group of heroes called the Thunderbolts. And you find out at the end, it is one of the biggest twists in the history of comics. You read the end of that first issue, and you find out that they are the masters of evil, the worst of the worst Avengers villains. This book came out only 3 months after this Grant Morrison book.
No more mutants.
No.
Remember that
Oh
one?
yeah, that comes even later.
Mm-hmm.
She
Way to get to that one. Whew.
Yeah. But yeah, Scott, if you enjoyed this, I'd be more than happy to do it again with a different storyline.
Yeah, let's do it again. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Cool. And
Cool.
if anybody else that isn't familiar with comics has an interest in doing a feature, something like this, where we just talk to you about a book and maybe find out if you liked it and like what was wrong with it, I'd be willing to do this with anybody. I'd love to do shit like this. So I had a really good time tonight. Thank you, Scott, for taking the time. David, Russ, thank you for reading the book.
Always, brother.
And being able to converse with us on this. I really appreciate
No
it.
problem.
EE has already started a hangout.
Okay.
So we're about a half hour more than we usually go tonight. I'll go ahead and pop off here and tell you guys peace, love, and hair grease. And the link should already be in the groups. Oscar, I can message you a hangout link if you need it. Just message me on Facebook. I love you, brother.
And
Hope to see you
adios,
sometime
guys.
soon, man.
Later.
All right, love y'all.
Later.
Peace.